Dear learners, welcome you all to e-learning platform. In week 8, you are going to learn about the poem Among School Children, written by William Butler Yeats. Me, as usual, Faisal Ahmed, with you throughout the whole lectures. Faculty member, Department of English, World University of Bangladesh. Let's begin. Among School Children by William Butler Yeats. In this lesson you will learn an introduction to the poem with a background study, poem recitation with text analysis, a brief synopsis of the poem, form and structure and style of the poem, and critical commentary on the poem. Introduction to Among School Children. William Butler Yeats published Among School Children in his famous 1928 collection of poems, The Tower. Yeats was in his 60s at the time, and like the speaker in this poem, served as an Irish senator whose responsibilities included inspecting public schools. Among School Children is one of William Butler Yeats' great late poems, like another of his famous poems from this stage of his life, Sailing to Byzantium, that you studied earlier. The poem is about Yeats looking back on his own life and feeling increasingly out of touch with the modern world. Background of Among School Children. In 1922, Yeats became a senator in the real life in the Irish Free State or independent state, Free State Parliament, and part of his remit was to sit on an educational committee and investigate schools. The Irish Catholic Church ran many of them, and it was on such an official visit in 1926 to St. Otterans in Waterford, run by the Sisters of Mercy, that Yeats had the idea for this poem. In a diary entry for March 26, 1926, William Butler Yeats wrote, "School children and the thought that life will waste them, perhaps that no possible life can fulfill their own dreams or even their teacher's hope, bring in the old thought that life prepares for what never happens." Text of the poem Among School Children by William Butler Yeats. Text recitation, stanza 1. I walked through the long schoolroom questioning. A kind old nun in a white hood replies, the children learn to chipper and to sing, to study reading, books and history, to cut and sew, be neat in everything. In the best modern way, the children's eyes in momentary wonder stare upon a 60-year-old smiling public man. Stanza 2. I dream of a Lydian body bent above a sinking fire, a tale that she told of a harsh reproof, a trivial event that changed some childish day to tragedy. Told, and it seemed that our two natures blend into a sphere from youthful sympathy, or else to alter Plato's parable into the yolk and white of the one shell. And thinking of that feat of grief or rage, I look upon one child together, where and wonder if she stood so at that age, for even daughters of the sun can share something of every peddler's heritage, and had that color upon cheek or hair, and thereupon my heart is driven wild. She stands before me as a living child. Stanza 4. Her present image floats into the mind. Did quattrocent finger fashion it, hollow of cheek as though it drank the wind, and took a mass of shadows for its meat? And I, though never of Lydian kind, had pretty plumage once, enough of that. Better to smile on all that smile and show there is a comfortable kind of old scarecrow. Stanza 5. What youthful mother, a shape upon her lap, honey of generation had betrayed, and that must sleep, shriek, struggle to escape, as recollection or the drug decide, would think her son, did she but see that shape, with 60 or more winters on his head, a compensation for the pang of his birth, or the uncertainty of his setting forth? Stanza 6. Plato thought nature but a spume that plays upon a ghostly parallelism of things. Soldier Aristotle played the lotos upon the bottom of a king of kings. World famous golden thighed Pythagoras fingered upon a fiddle stick or strings. What a star sang in careless muse's heart. Old clothes upon old sticks to scare a bird. Stanza 7. Both nuns and mothers worship images, but those the candles light are not as those that animate a mother's reveries, but keep a marble or a bronze response. And yet they too break hearts, oh presences that passion, pity, or affection knows, and that all heavenly glory symbolize. O self-born mockers of man's enterprise. Stanza 8, the last stanza. Labor is blossoming or dancing where the body is not bruised to pleasure soul, nor beauty born out of its own despair, nor blear-eyed wisdom out of midnight oil. O chestnut tree, great-rooted blossomer, are you the leaf, the blossom, or the bowl? O body sought to music, O brightening glance, how can we know the dancer from the dance? That's the end of the poem recitation. So now we're going to share the synopsis among school children, or the summary of the poem. In the poem, the speaker's visit to one such school prompts him to reflect on old age, youth, beauty, and change. Although old age brings a decline from the beauty and freshness of youth, the speaker comes to see life as a harmonious whole, meaning that every moment has its own pleasures and rewards. Structure of the poem among school children. Among school children comprises 8 stanzas, each of 8 lines of iambic pentameter with the rhyme scheme AB, 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 and CC. This is a standard form known as autover rima, and is one which Yeats used elsewhere, and thus the Municipal Gallery revisited. Analysis of the poem or critical commentary. The poem among school children was inspired by his Senate-sponsored visit to Waterfront Convent as a 60-year-old senator of the Free Irish State in the capacity of the inspector of schools. The poem begins in the first person I, most naturalistically in the standard pattern of a guided tour and reaches the philosophic heights. In the words of W. H. Hudson, Yeats has a knack of raising occasional poetry to the level of profound poetry of universal appeal and significance. Among school children can be cited as an example. This poem is considered to be one of the finest of Yeats' compositions, which attempt at synthesizing the 60-year-old smiling public man, that is Yeats himself, the aged one-time lover and the would-be philosopher, into something as organic as a chestnut tree and as coherent as a dancer's movements. Among School Children is one of Yeats' later poems and focuses on human potential, how we as creative beings can work towards a unity of body and soul to fulfill that potential. The poem deals with several major issues, contrasting youth and old age, school work and life wisdom, love and physical pain, intellect and artistic expression. Overall, the theme is that of essential change, how a person deals with the passage of time, desire, ideals, and how that person walks towards harmony and union. The first 5 stanzas explore youth, old age, and love from a personal perspective, the latter 3 becoming more impersonal as the speaker attempts to reach a unifying vision. Each stanza is a progressive step towards what is ultimately a question concerning expression and complete harmony of a human life. The autovarima form in this poem works to create a sense of unity, but the mix of full and imperfect rhyme isn't fully tuned to this ideal. Note that the first 6 stanzas are complete within themselves and stopped or given a question mark. Each is a separate topic, but gradually they build up to stanzas 7 and 8, which are connected by semicolon. The last stanza freeing the speaker from cycles of toil and intellectual disappointment. Meaning of words appeared in the poem among school children. In stanza 2, line 9, Lydian body. The phrase means a woman the speaker has known, that is Morgane, his lover in real life, who Yeats loved but never married because he was rejected by the woman Morgane. The Greek myth in which Leda is raped by the Greek god Zeus in the form of a swan is the inspiration. See Yeats' poem Leda and the Swan. Here is the illustration related to the poem or the characters Leda and the god Zeus in the form of a swan. So the Zeus in Greek mythology raped Leda. Stanza 2, line 15 and 16 in Plato's Symposium legend has it that humans are cut in two by Zeus because they are too powerful. Since then, humans strive for love by regaining the whole, hence yolk and egg back into the shell to become one loving whole. Here the man and the women divided or cut into halves. That's why a man always hanker after women and make a whole of human to gain the glory. In stanza 4, line 26, quattrocento finger, the phrase meaning literally 400, relating to the 1400s, when Italian art and culture 1400 to 1499 began what became known as the Renaissance or Renaissance. Here is an illustration related to Renaissance. Stanza 4, line 33 to 36, honey of generation, the phrase meaning phrase taken from Porphyry's essay The Cave of the Nymphs. Porphyry is a Greek philosopher, lived between 232 to 305. Honey is seen as a drug that nullifies or cancels prenatal freedom or pre-marriage freedom, or a signifier of essential of sensual pleasure. It's a connected illustration to the honey of generation. That's the end of the lesson in week 8. Thank you very much for being with me throughout the whole lesson and lecture. So talk to you with new lesson next week. Thank you very much and bye bye.